Then there's infrastructure. If you're going to do that, people have to be able to get in and out. 1,500 more people move to Charles County every year. But it's the same 210. It's the same 301. I don't see us adding a lane anytime soon. There's a bus.
Welcome back to the Southside Blueprint, your blueprint for buying, selling, and investing in real estate right here in Southern Maryland. I'm Aaron Krahling with the Southside Group Real Estate. I'm joined by Billy Rabbitt and Winfield Clark. Winfield Clark's a very diverse guy. He's got a lot of things going on. Just go ahead and give us the brief of it.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for having me on today, Aaron and
100%.
Billy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a little bit about me. I'm a native of Charles County. I'm a Christian husband, father of 6. I grew up. My family moved to Charles County in 1986 from Southeast D.C. All right, that's a story we've heard a lot. Sure. Right, that's how Charles County and how Waldorf grew. Yeah. So I graduated from McDonough High School. I went to J.C. Parks, went to Matthew Henson. That's where I met my buddy Aaron here. It was in J.C. Parks, right? We got some memories there, and then graduated from McDonough. Okay. Left home, got my electrical engineering degree from Hampton University down south. Hampton, Virginia, and then eventually got my MBA from the University of Iowa when I was out in the Quad Cities. Okay. A little bit about me. For the past 20 years, I've been in business transformation, helping businesses improve the bottom line to the tune of maybe $30 million. Also engage their workforce, effectively manage change, and really turn things around. And I've been in that space in the nonprofit world. I've been in it in healthcare and in manufacturing. Okay, so that's been a fun ride. But in the last year, I've transitioned more into a community-focused life. So I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor at New Life Church. The New Life is a system based in La Plata, and I have one of their church campuses in Marbury, Maryland. For those who don't know where Marbury is, it's in Charles County. Sure. It's over by Indian Head. Think Indian Head Naval Base, just off the road a few miles, right? Sure. Marbury is an awesome community, and that church is rapidly growing since March. And we're heading toward our kickoff. I'm also the owner of a nonprofit, Celestial Manna. It's been around since 1986. It's been feeding thousands of people, 20,000 people or more each month in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. And right now we're bringing food into Southern Maryland that wouldn't otherwise be there. Food from Whole Foods, different stores of that nature, organic, fresh perishables, and we're getting them to people that normally wouldn't have access to that type of food. There's neighborhoods in Charles County, Nanjemoy, Indian Head, in the outlying areas where people are shut in and shut out, and so the food pantry operating out of our churches at New Life is serving a lot of people, and it's making an impact on the community and their lives. So I get the privilege to be able to do that. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have my own business, God Strong LLC, and I use that to do firearms training and also small business consulting, an umbrella of other things I love to do to exercise my passion to teach and coach. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'm also running for state delegate, District 28, Charles County. So understand that voting is getting ready to happen. We got early voting happening the 11th through the 18th of June. We've got the primary June 23rd, and then the general election is going to be in November. People, we want to put the right folks in office. It's time to pay attention. It's time to get out there. It's time to be a part. It's time to vote.
Heck yeah, man. So
you're a busy guy.
Yeah. Not a lot going on.
I thought I was busy.
So you, obviously we do real estate. That's what we do. Yes, so there's a lot of things that we could talk about here, but I'd like to kind of narrow down on, what you're bringing into the equation for voters, like on the real estate side. Like, what do you see in the market? Where is it at? What are the problems? And, what do you see as possible solutions?
Absolutely. So I like to tie this into, basically I have 3 pillars in my platform, and real estate kind of crosses all of them at some point. The first one is economic growth. Is Charles County growing in the right direction? Is it growing smart? Are we keeping talent and income in Charles County? Are we supporting local businesses and attracting new industry? Then there's infrastructure. If you're going to do that, people have to be able to get in and out. 1,500 more people move to Charles County every year. But it's the same 210. It's the same 301. I don't see us adding a lane anytime soon. There's a bus. Now I want to tell you something. That bus is helpful. Yeah. But at some point, even that's one more big old vehicle on the road you got to get up at 4 a.m. to catch. I know. I did it. My wife did it. Yeah. Right? But I'm thankful for it. And then you've got development planning, right? business growth, service excellence, the things that we need to stop people from spending the same money they could have spent in Charles County somewhere else.
Yeah.
Literally the same businesses and brands will be there, but we'll drive elsewhere to go get the same thing. Breaks my heart. People have their babies in other hospitals, not in the hospitals right here in Charles County.
Yeah.
They drive to Virginia, they drive to Montgomery County, they drive to D.C.
Yeah.
But we have all this talent and income. Half of who runs the government is living in Waldorf. 65% of the people who live there are driving outside the county every day and spending half their money where they work.
Sure.
And then coming home late at night to lay their heads. Infrastructure. And we don't even think about the waterways, right? We're right up against the Potomac River. You can stand there and you can look across. You can see Alexandria. You can see Mount Vernon. You can see Woodbridge from there, almost like you could swim there. But we're driving all the way up and all the way back down 495. Why not put something across the water?
Well, because the Mattawoman or the Mount Vernon watershed, you can't have any structures visible from Mount Vernon. That's why they won't build anything down there.
Oh, not a structure. But how about like a ferry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
been
they
to a lot
used
of
to have one in
cities.
Marshall Hall.
Where they carry vehicles across.
Sure.
You know, that way that, you know, the last mile when you get across, you got your vehicle.
Right.
There's ways, I think we're getting to the point we're going to have to be innovative about infrastructure now and do some things that normally we would never have considered.
Sure.
Vote
We've
for
been fighting the
Winfield.
metro
He
forever.
promises a ferry.
I promise. Oh, no. Let me clear what the delegate can and can't do, but what we fight for. And then there's government efficiency. You got all this growth. You got all that. The government has to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
The sheriff's office has to be able to keep up. More people, but we've got to fund these things. We've got to have more efficient processes, more technologically inclined in what we do and how we operate in our government to improve that access and eliminate the waste and inefficiency that might exist right now. It's not that everyone there is not trying their best, but now we've got to level up
Sure.
because the growth isn't going to stop. So now let's tie that back to housing,
There we
right?
go, yeah.
You know, traditionally, people moved to Charles County because it was cheaper. We moved there in 1986, cheaper, less crime, better neighborhoods, you could get more land, all the good stuff. Still a lot of truth to that, even though prices are climbing. But when we think about it, it's kind of out of control. We're constantly building housing developments, and we're bringing in all kinds of businesses, but not smart, strategic businesses that are going to help the county grow from a revenue standpoint or culturally. There's still not a lot for kids to do.
Right. Sure.
A lot of these kids that are getting in trouble are the kids who they're latchkey because their parents leave at 4 a.m, don't get back till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do. We get
Riding
mad
the
at them
bus.
when they're riding their dirt bikes and their stuff out, but why don't we build a place for them to do that,
Sure. Yeah.
right? I mean, you know, the best, you got to go to get to a good skating rink, you got to drive a good 30, 40 minutes
Yeah.
outside of town. It's not making sense.
Yeah, Wheel of Wild is not what it used to be.
It's not what it used to be. I mean, God bless them, right? I tell you, it's got to be about smart growth. So when I think about housing, it's the type of housing. We look at affordable housing. We look at what it takes to assist people that are down and out. We got all these government workers that are laid off now. What happens if all these people take their talent, take their knowledge, and create businesses that actually transform and support the county we live in?
Sure.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
But I just have questions from the standpoint of affordable housing. A lot of those people need that help now. Where do we put it up? Do we have the infrastructure to support what affordable housing is supposed to look like? People that don't necessarily have transportation. I don't know if the van go is going to keep up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, and it's certainly, you know, you think about even, I mean, anywhere in Southern Maryland, right? So any of the 3 counties that we kind of call Southern Maryland.
Yeah.
You know, this past weekend, we actually went up to Waldorf, actually to the gymnasium center. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, I probably drove past it, I don't know, a couple thousand times maybe in my life.
Gymnasium
Never,
center?
yeah, there's a gymnasium center actually right there in Waldorf, whatever. We had my daughter's birthday there. It was a phenomenal facility, but you don't even know it exists. Nobody knows it exists, whatever.
Do you know what that comes back to, Billy? And this is where, from a business consulting standpoint, I have a real passion. Our business owners have the right heart and mind, but don't know what they don't know.
Sure.
20
Yeah.
years of business transformation, the marketing piece, the communication piece, getting your brand, and how to train from a psychological standpoint for customer service. We don't have it.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? That's why you go other places where it's more competitive and they're doing that. Let's bring this here, but let the government actually support the efforts to do it.
Sure.
We can level up every business,
Yeah.
and we can get the marketing. Because, see, you think about it. We didn't have the market. Right? It was word of mouth.
Right.
You just knew because you were related to the person, or that was your cousin or your friend's cousin.
Sure.
And I mean, that's how Charles County,
Yeah.
and still, you're probably 3 degrees of separation away from somebody you're related to. I swear, now that I'm running for office, I found probably 3 or 4 more people that I'm like, oh, we're family. Invite me to the reunion.
Right.
But now that it's growing, and you got a lot of people that are government workers, they're transient, they're not from here. They're used to relying on social media and the internet and technology to know what businesses are there. If you're not on TikTok, if you're not on the gram, if you're not on Facebook, if you don't have an active website, I might not find you, and you could have a great product.
Oh, sure.
And then you see these businesses shutting down. You see them shutting down simply because the word's not getting out there. And by the time they do get someone to the front, through the door, they're so exhausted they can't really give them the customer service they need.
Right.
But they had the right heart. They had a good product.
Sure.
I want to help those businesses. I want to give them what they need, coach them so they can transform and bring in the revenue. Make this a place that people want to come, and not only because they've got things to do, but how about unique local businesses? Everything doesn't have to be a chain.
Right.
I don't want to see another big box beauty store or chicken joint. We got a lot of great chicken options in Waldorf. I love it, but I'm good with those right now.
We've got a bunch of gas stations in St. Mary's, guys. So
Yeah.
I get it. We like our gas stations down here. Yeah. So, but no, I totally agree. I mean, anybody that's grown up in the area, I mean, just going down Billingsley, I mean, you can, if you want a sense of what growth is in Charles County, you just have to drive down Billingsley.
That's it.
I mean, 15 years ago, I mean, 15, 20 years ago, you drive down Billingsley and there was nothing. It was pretty much a vacant road.
That's it.
Now you go down there and it's pretty much
St. Charles Parkway.
Yeah.
It's all houses.
Yeah. I mean,
and they're filling up.
It is. And you certainly worry about the strain that it does put on the community. And like you said, the lack of things to do and the lack of things, because a lot of those homes too, like you said, they're really kind of that affordable starter home. Likely they're going to have kids, a family, things like that. And so, you think about the strain on the schools and the strain on, what to do and, keep the kids out of trouble and all those good things. So, I can truly appreciate that.
We put funding in Project Blueprint, right? We've done a lot of good things, but you still don't see school ratings climbing. You don't see that happening. We're not really necessarily seeing test scores do what we want them to do. And if we overwhelm these schools in that direction, we're going to have to think differently about how we apply those funds.
Yeah.
Right? To get more, and the schools are only so big.
Yeah.
So are we building more schools? What's the plan? We got to really think about that from an infrastructure standpoint, because it's volatile, such that if the infrastructure failed with so many people here, and you think about when you're off the main drag and you're on the other side of 301 in St. Charles Parkway, it takes a little bit of time to get to the main road and get out.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about there that we've got to be ready for. I mean, you think about what happened when the first big snow hit.
Yeah.
And there was ice on the roads, what it took and how we responded.
Yeah.
And all the people with two-wheel drive that were spinning out, and all the people with big SUVs that were in the ditch because they don't know how to drive in that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and a lot of those people, like you said, they are commuting.
Yeah.
They aren't necessarily working in Charles County. They're commuting in another county or into the district or wherever it may be. So it's certainly that. And then I think you look at Maryland as a whole, ranked I think second worst in the country from, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but second highest number of people that have sold or moved out of the state. I think it was almost nearly like 29% of people.
Wow.
So people are exiting the state of Maryland or whatever for whatever reason. But a lot of it I come down to is that, Maryland has a stigma that it's not affordable. It's not friendly for people that are retiring. It's certainly not affordable from the standpoint of, people that are just kind of starting off. You know what I mean? I mean, when the average, you got to almost have a household income of nearly $100,000 to be able to afford a kind of a base level median house. I mean, that's
right. And where are you going to work to make that type of income?
Yeah.
Now, if we had industry, if we had more industry, more vocational types of things happening, if we had manufacturing, if we had more welding, we could even say that. You could build a career that could get you there, but we don't. So if you're not living in Potomac or you're not living in Montgomery County or right on the edge of D.C., there's not much for you to do. I mean, listen, I went through it. I was unemployed. I went through the Maryland workforce system. First thing they said is there's really no jobs in Charles County. I mean, I'm hearing reports that people want you to have experience to get a job at McDonald's. Yeah. That was the job that was created. It was perfect for the high school graduate that was figuring out life.
Right. Yeah.
Like right now, in between going to college, and now I don't have enough experience to work at McDonald's.
Yeah,
That's a real problem here. So we have this stigma, and I think that ties to this problem. Sorry, I'm going to get to you, brother. And it's like, I come here to buy a house
Yeah.
because I can get that house, and my plan is to be here 3 to 5 years. I'm military, I'm government, I'm transient. After 3 to 5 years, if the schools are good enough for my kids, then I'm going to think about where I go next because I can't work here.
Right.
And can I keep up with this commute?
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to. So why am I leaving? I've got to commute. My jobs aren't here.
Yeah.
And I'm outgrowing my house, and I've got to think about next steps, and I need to increase income. And I can't do it with this commute. I mean, there's all these factors happening that it just doesn't make sense because we've got all this talent and income right here in the county that we can solve these problems with.
Yeah.
So,
No, right on. So with all that being said, what do you think can be done to help people stay here longer?
we think about the long-termers, right? We think about the people that moved here in 86. They got a house for $150,000. That house is now worth about $700,000. But even if they've paid it off and they're sitting on a bunch of equity, their retirement didn't work out the way they thought it would because the market crashed a few times between now and then.
Not to mention property taxes.
And the property. And that's where I'm going next is, can you afford to send your grandkids and your kids to school?
Yeah.
Right? To help them because they're having a problem getting a job because they got laid off from the government and they're living with you and don't have income to help you with, and you're buying their groceries, and you still have to pay these property taxes even though you paid your mortgage, and people are beating on your door and calling your phone every day about getting a reverse mortgage. Right?
Don't get me started on
Come
that.
on, man, and that right there breaks my heart. I mean, that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
And so what do we do for those people? I think there's other states that are looking at the ability to, if you're over a certain age and your house is paid off and you're in retirement, just eliminating property taxes. See, we don't have a budget problem from the standpoint of not enough money. It's about where it's being allocated. We got over a $550 million budget in Charles County. How many people are in that category that we could shift gears on property taxes for them and keep them there so they can support their other family, that maybe they'd stay here and continue to work?
Yeah. The benefits might outweigh the costs.
That's it. We've got to do the math, though. We've got to sit down, and this is what delegates do. We sit down, we look at the budget, we see how things are being allocated, we look at these programs, we get on the committees, we talk about it, and then we figure out what laws do we need to write and what legislation needs to happen. Then we roll that up to the senators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think if anything, I mean, we've done a few episodes now, and so we've had different, people running for different positions or different offices and things like that. And I think one of the biggest things that we are seeing is that everybody that we've talked to so far that is running for some type of, some type of role, they really truly, everybody wants to support the community. Everybody, and I give credit, and I think that's maybe I'm biased here. I think it's a Southern Maryland thing. I think we do really have a heart and passion for the community.
More than we want to give ourselves credit for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like even some of our peers in the real estate industry, I feel like some of the most passionate agents I work with, they're from Southern Maryland. It's like we do have a very strong pride of community and things like that. And whether you're on this side or that side or whatever it may be, I will say that all of the candidates that we've spoken to, they've all had that sense of community. And we all want to find a way to just improve and find a solution. And hopefully we can get to a point where, we can have, people that are representing us or whatever that can look across the aisle or whatever and say, hey, you know what, let's find a solution that's good for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Let's move forward.
I think the key to that being successful and putting the right people in office is who's using data to make decisions.
Yeah.
And how are we reacting to and understanding that pride?
Yeah.
Because that pride can be a double-edged sword.
Sure.
It can be the side that we move forward together. It can also be the side of the sword that stops innovation.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid for anyone to come in and mess up what we've built.
Sure.
And Waldorf in particular has been fighting that for decades. That's one of the reasons why it was so hard for the Metro to even get as far as it has.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And now and the thing you hear is, it's going to bring a bad element. It's going to bring, who's the bad element? Most
The
of
people going to work?
Come on. Listen, Billy, look. Most of the kids getting in trouble are coming from middle-class households that are latchkey, and their folks have money.
Right.
And we do have the kids that are troubled. We do have the kids from low-income families. We do have all that, but it's not all what we think, and the element's not coming off the Metro train. Because if it can come off the Metro train, it can come out of a car. It can come off one of those big old buses, right? I mean, if it's going to get here, it's going to get here. We're not that far. I can look across and see Accokeek from where I'm at.
Right.
So,
no,
not to say that's a bad neighborhood in general, but I mean, you're so close to you're that much closer to a Metro station.
Absolutely, and and at the end of the day too, Yeah, I mean, unfortunately there's bad apples in every bunch. You know what I mean? And
look, 210 is 10 miles.
Yeah.
It's 10 miles
Yep.
from here to where you're starting to see the highway.
Yeah.
You can ride a bike
Yep.
or a scooter.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Right.
It's just that 10 miles takes 65 or 70 minutes
Yeah.
when it's gridlock in the morning or evening. We got to put that in perspective.
Yep. No. It's tough. I think way too much of our. So I lived in Houston for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that Houston's a huge city. You don't really understand how big it is until you've driven through it or whatever. But they have 3 beltway systems.
Yep.
3 beltway systems. Yeah, there was traffic, but not near as bad as the traffic here. Not near. And I get it. You know, they've kind of designed it that way or whatever. But you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it's up to the people that are representing the community to figure out solutions to these problems.
And I think to figure out those solutions, man, we've got to be talking to the community. We've got to be talking to the people, understanding what's actually happening. We can't be in little committees and little groups in a vacuum making decisions and then doing it to the community.
Sure.
We have to do it with the community and get their input.
Yeah.
That's empowerment.
Yeah.
Transformation is not going to happen without the empowerment of the people in the community.
Yeah.
And then when that transformation happens that way, we can thrive.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, what you have is a plan with holes in it like Swiss cheese.
We've always done it this way.
That's right. Oh, don't move my cheese.
We've always done it this way. I hate one of those phrases I just can't stand. But no, it's I mean, it's a real problem, and we see it every day. And we see it every day when people are moving. You know, they're moving into King George, Virginia, because Charles County's not affordable. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden now jobs and money and, you know, the economy's now moving across the bridge into Virginia because it's more affordable. And
or it's not just that it's more affordable and full agreement with you, but then I don't like the element I see.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it's growing. I don't like all this stuff. I don't like all this traffic.
Yeah.
So we just keep spreading, right?
Yeah.
But we're not bringing jobs or industry anywhere where we're spreading.
Sure.
And that's the issue. What do we have to offer? I mean, farming used to be more prevalent.
Yeah.
Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need our own. Everything that comes into Waldorf comes in on a truck. And when I talked about the risk of infrastructure, if those trucks can't come down the road in a national emergency,
Got some problems.
you better have good neighbors and good friends. And I hear more and more people talking about, I want to make a compound and put my whole family on it. Let me get a spot of land so we can share resources and grow our vegetables and hunt the animals. I'm starting to think about it more and more.
If they're looking for land, send them this way.
My man, I will. Surely.
Oh, man. Okay, so we've gone over quite a bit. Yeah. So I want to do something we started. It's called the rapid fire questions. So you don't know about this yet because I just started it just now, actually.
Be afraid, very afraid.
I was like, all right, well, we'll go with it.
So, all right, so just some questions real quick. So what do you think the biggest challenge facing Southern Maryland is right now?
I think the biggest challenge is what I like to call a bedroom community challenge. You're bringing in more and more, and that's okay, because I really think that's the biggest thing. The growth is happening without the infrastructure keeping up with it or the government efficiency falling in line with it, and you're just going to have a problem where there's gaps, and you're going to have community and cultural issues as a result if we don't get that figured out.
Fair enough. Most underrated thing about Southern Maryland?
Most underrated. Oh, my gosh. So, you know, when I worked out in, you know, Alexandria and other places in downtown, people was like, oh, my God, you live all the way down there? You live in, they call it Wakanda or Asgard, right? Like, it's almost otherworldly how far it is away from everything, even though it's like 20 miles. And the perspective and the mindset about Southern Maryland and that it's behind the game from a business standpoint. There's no reason to drive down there to do anything unless you're visiting somebody you love. Yeah. But we've got all this natural beauty.
Yeah.
Seriously. And it's not just about putting a ferry to take cars across the water, which would be amazing and will create a lot of jobs. But let's do more to make that a tourist attraction the right way.
Sure.
Let's put some money into the beaches, you know, like river beaches, lake beaches. There's things you can do that make them a lot more attractive. There's so much that we can do if we think about it. But that's the misnomer. That's the underrated part of Southern Maryland that people don't understand, is that there's all this to offer, but they just think of it as the place that's way too far to get to through a whole bunch of traffic, and you're not going to get the same businesses and customer service that you would get. I'm in love with a lot of the new restaurants and things that are opening up. The fact they put a milk and honey down here, all that type of stuff. I love that. I'm a foodie, you know, but the stigma is still there.
Sure.
So you got to continue to break that down.
So that brings us right to the next one. What's your favorite restaurant in the area?
My favorite restaurant in Southern Maryland? Oh, this is tough. And I'm going to go off chain and just think about local brands. I've had a great experience with the Charles and La Plata. Me and my wife like Prime Street Grill.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Formerly Tailgates.
What'd you say, brother?
I said formerly Tailgates.
Formerly Tailgates, yeah. Those two come to mind when I think about my favorite local restaurant that's not a chain.
What about Blue Dog Saloon?
Blue Dog Saloon. Now, where's that? Is that off 925?
Toward Ninja Boy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Toward Ninja Boy?
yeah. I would highly suggest.
Okay,
it's a
I'll
good
be
one.
out there.
It's a good one. Yeah.
That's near my church. I
Yep.
need to
It's
go
right
out
there.
there
Yep.
anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, and I'll even get a shout out to, was it Gray Brothers Market?
Yep.
One of the best breakfast sandwich you can get. And it's right there by my church. So now I have a problem because I'm there like every time. There are some good places to eat.
There is throughout the whole entire
and there
county.
is some good food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. All right, so one bill tomorrow you could pass. Your super delegate number 28. You can pass any bill. What are you going for?
Oh my gosh, one bill that I can pass.
And it can't be like a wish to pass a bunch more bills.
No, right. Genie in the bottle. No, I'm going to say anything with rapid expansion of transit. Okay, that's where I think I want to go, is there. Because, a lot of people say, well, you're so focused on the economic part of it, the growth and the infrastructure. What about these social issues? Well, I think they're all tied back to that. We can open up those lanes, make it easier for people to live here, take some of the time back that they're spending on the road to give to their family and focus in the house. Then we reduce crime. Yeah. We reduce that stress. We get the kids back in order. We see test scores go up.
Yeah.
Right? We stop seeing kids carrying guns to school. Yeah. Okay? So that's where I would start. But then, the other side of that, when I think about those problems we're seeing socially, we got to get to the root cause. We got to create things for kids to do, and we got to understand what's driving these type of behaviors before we say, put them up. Yeah. They're making grown-up decisions, giving grown-up penalties. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah. No, there's a root cause somewhere, right?
There's a root cause.
There's a root cause.
Yeah, this is our future.
Yeah, no, you're right.
If we put all our future in jail, we're not going to have a future.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. And I think something you said earlier, which I think resonates, and something we've been doing locally too, because we're a locally owned and operated business. We have an office in Waldorf as well. Yeah. It's helped lots of clients in Waldorf, so, in Charles County. So, but I think one of the magic answers is helping, small businesses and entrepreneurs have such a high failure rate.
Yes.
That we've got, they've taken so much risk. You know what I mean? And I think we've got to find a way to either create a sense of community for that group, right? Of those people that are willing to take risks, like-minded people that want to help each other succeed. But then I do believe that there should be some type of community involvement or government involvement helping those people out, whether it's helping them out with grants or helping them out with that, just really helping them out with like the resources. Because like I said, like this weekend, going to the gymnasium, I'm thinking to myself, like, I had no idea it was here. And everybody that came to the birthday party too, there was quite a few people. Yeah. Nobody knew it was there. Not one person. Not one person said, oh yeah, I've been here before or anything like that. Yeah. There was one down in St. Mary's County that a lot of people had been to, but nobody knew that this one. And so I think there's a lot to be said with that. And I think that helps generate kind of those three pillars you've been talking about. Yeah. That helps, I don't want to say fix, but helps certainly expedite or gets some of those on the right path. It's helping some of our economy locally prosper. So
I completely agree. And I'll say this, whether I get elected or not, I'm going to create round tables to bring these business owners together to not only coach them on how to improve the bottom line, customer service, manage change, and level up, but also help them personally. And this is the pastor in me. Sure. Right? Because some of them, hey, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stress. Families are falling apart, marriages, they're trying to run this business, they're trying to figure out where the next dollar's coming from. Yeah. They need that advocate as well as the business coach. I'm going to create round tables to do that. So everyone listening, hear that. If you have a need, reach out to me because I want to help. I have what it takes to help small business owners improve and succeed, and I'm going to do that personally and professionally.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We need to do that. And I want to involve as much as possible. I want to get the government involved in terms of helping fund those efforts. Yeah. And what was it? I went to Toronto and a whole different world. But, you go to restaurants and there's this Zagat rating on the door. Yeah. It's not only is your food good, but you're clean, you have good customer service, all these things.
Sure.
Man, what if there was an incentive to fight for that rating?
Yeah.
We need that level of competition, but you also need to know what the competition is doing, and you also need to know what good looks like. And if all you've ever seen is how the business was ran in Charles County from when you started, then maybe you never even crossed 301, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to understand what good looks like or it needs to look like
Sure.
to get where we're going.
Yeah.
Let's show them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, heck yeah. So, no, it's all good stuff. So I
Guess
guess
it wasn't so rapid.
the questions were
probably my
rapid. So I guess to wrap it up, so obviously we went over a bunch of stuff that you do. So everything all tied together, you're running for this delegate. You have this nonprofit, Celestial Manna.
Yeah.
You're pastor at New Life Church.
Yes.
So with all of it together, 5 years from now, let's say your vision comes to fruition, you're doing the thing as the delegate, you put all these things in place. What does it look like for the average family looking to buy a home here in Southern Maryland? Like what might change if we can get what you're looking for to happen?
Man, when you think about, and I think about every time I've made the decision to buy a home and where I wanted to live, I looked at several things. I looked at, first of all, having small kids, the school system. How's it performing? I looked at, okay, what is the job market like in that area? How close are the neighborhoods that are good and safe to where I want to work? And is the industry there that I need that would keep me there for more than 5 years so I can make an investment that actually turns something? Because you need about that more often on average, speaking to realtors, right?
Sure.
When you buy a home, I want the answers to all those things for people looking to now be positive. Where right now there's a lot of question marks. It's going to be, oh, look, there's several places with good schools rated above a 4. Yeah. And they have industry right here near the home. So I don't have a huge commute. And, oh, by the way, the businesses are really growing down there. And there's all these things we could do, shop, enjoy, and not have to leave. And I know that it's safe and they have the resources. And all that happens because of the infrastructure, more efficient government, the right type of growth. When businesses make the decision, just like you want to buy a house, when businesses make the decision, where am I going to land, they look for a couple things. They look for, is the talent there to support my business? Can I get in and out of the place? And how are other businesses performing such that I've got good competition, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't see those 3 things, you're not going to put your major brand. That's the reason why Whole Foods hasn't come down, is my understanding.
They don't have to.
Exactly. So that's what's going to change. The experience of someone making the decision to live here is not going to be, all right, listen, this is the place I can afford to work in the government right now. We're going to do this for a couple years. We're going to get the equity on this house, sell it, and get out. That does nothing for Charles County.
Right.
It's going to be, wow, this is not just a place that I lay my head to work, but I can also play here and I can also grow here. That's the vision. That's what we all need to rally behind.
Yeah.
Nice. Heck yeah, man. Well, really appreciate you coming in and joining us today, Winfield. Like I said before, Winfield's part of a lot of different groups. We're going to have some links down in the comment section below. So I guess thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time on the Southside Blueprint.
Absolutely.